What's up, everybody? Welcome. Another LiveTime with Alec. I'm Alec, and it's Tuesday. Man, lots happening in the world out there, isn't there? Crazy stuff happening in the world out there. Just had a fun podcast with a buddy of mine. Sorab runs a amazing company. I love to share some of those clips with you later. I just watched it this morning. I got all pumped up, so it was really fun. Thanks, Sorab, for doing that. Hey, let's talk about this, guys. If you saw this little clip before, with a little image right there, and you're like, what is he talking about? I really want to lean into this concept of branding because it's so buzzy. So buzzy. Everyone's like, brand, you got to have brand, personal brand. I'm like running on personal brand. And sadly, there's a huge misconception of what this really means. And so we got to break it down. First of all, I made a little joke on this. I'm sorry if I offended somebody, but your witty tagline, that's not your brand. Stop it. Like, seriously, I know if you like it and it gives you joy, wonderful. But the first time as people think brand, they're like, I'm going to become like a tagline guy or gal. And I'm like, no, that's not your brand at all. Stop that. Like, no, I have a logo and a social handle. By the way, the fancy home financier. Come on. How good is that social handle? It's not taken, by the way. I got to tell you how hard it was to make this graphic because every time I would make a stupid tagline or a handle, I'd actually go look and be like, oh, that's somebody's real handle. And I had to delete it because I didn't want to like go live and just be trashing somebody who's like, no, that's my handle. There is no fancy home financier. So you're welcome, internet. You can take that one and run. But just stop for a second. I lean into somebody and say like, hey, what? They're like, I need to get a logo. That's got to be it. I got to have brand. I need a logo. I'm like, you don't need it. Logos are absolutely meaningless. They're meaningless. You know what gives a logo its meaning? Your experience with that brand. I'm going to say that again because I don't think you heard me in the back. The brands and the logos you see out there, they are absolute meaningless garbage. What brings them to life is the emotion you connect to that through the experiences you have with it. Does that make sense? So your cool tagline and your social handle and your personal logo graphic from Fiverr are garbage. Garbage. They don't mean anything. They're not helpful because what's going to happen is you could have a circle with a thumbs up in it. Could be your logo, and that logo will mean nothing until the customer starts seeing it and experiences it and learning and starts to feel what it means. It's a feeling, guys. The brand is a feeling. Your brand is a feeling. That's what I want you to understand right now. People are like, well, I can't have my URL, which is, AlecHansonTheMortgageGod.com because, I'm like, stop. Just stop. We talk so much. I talk so much. Let me rephrase that. I talk so much about what your authentic self means and how to lead with that versus lead with some kind of slogan or tagline that are irrelevant. And I want to, so here's an exercise. Here's an exercise I want to go with. And I'm just as guilty on this because in the beginning of the whole process, I did the same thing. I'm learning personal branding and I did this exact same thing. I sat down with a bunch of loan officers. And so we'll do this right now. In fact, if you're watching this right now, I want you to comment too. You can be part of the conversation. So this is more of a dialogue. But this is exactly what I did. I sat down with a loan professional and I said, hey, look, let's start working on your brand. What are the 5 key adjectives, the 5 key words you want to be known for as a mortgage professional? Right there. There you go. The 5 key words. And this is what I got. And by the way, throw a comment in if you have an additional one. My favorite. I'm be professional. Okay. That's what you want one of your 5 key brand names to be. Yep. Professional. Great. Well, what's next? I want to be honest. I'm going to be known as the honest mortgage professional. Okay. What else? Amazing customer service. Well, that's not a word, but I'll give you. Okay, it's 3. Fine. You want to have amazing customer service. That's one of your brand, ethos. Got it. What else? I want to be kind. I want to be known as a kind, professional or caring. I got that one a lot. I got reliable. I want to be known as a reliable mortgage. So people would write down the 5 adjectives to describe what they want their brand to be known for. You get things like, I'm going to be a man of integrity, professional of integrity. Yes. Excellent. So good. So wrong. None of those are relevant. First of all, let's talk about brand for a second. It's an emotion. It's an emotional connection to a thing, to a person, to a logo, if you will, but that comes later. It's an emotional connection. And so when you say the words like, I want to be known as professional, and yet I go look at what you do. And I mean by what you do on the internet, because that's how we judge people now. I don't need to frame this up anymore, but it's clear. We judge everybody by what we see them doing on the internet. Yes, we do. Yes, you do. And so the first thing I want to be known as a professional. Excellent. Awesome. Awesome. But I can't find you anywhere. You don't exist on the internet. So that's not helping your brand. Or I go online and I start checking out your social media and I see nothing but I see the absolute opposite of professional. And let's just like take away like the drunk, like hitting a beer bong. Like, of course, that's probably like not going to work. But let's just say like I just see a family guy. I just see somebody who loves their kids. I see a bunch of I see somebody who looks like they have fun on the weekends and like to go hiking. Okay, that doesn't mean you're not. Do you guys get it? You're not connecting your content to the ethos, the feeling, the emotion you want to drive forward into. I'll give you another good example. Man, in sales today, you got to be Switzerland if you want. I mean, you don't have to be, but how many times do you go on somebody's social media and you see political posts? Political posts. Excellent. You're letting the world know how you feel. Woo! And alienating half the population in the process. I don't know if that's going to help your sale. I don't know if that's going to help drive. I don't know what kind of emotion you're trying to connect to your brand. But being hyper political probably, it's an angle. I'll give it to you. It's an angle. But this is what I want you guys to hear as you kind of lean into personal branding. There's a really, really great speaker that I heard in the past. And he said, there is a secret in action. And he described it like this. He goes, look, I thought that if I went out and loved everybody, just loved on everybody, that I would get love in return. But the reality is that wasn't true. When I loved everybody, I became a loving man. I thought when I would go out in the world and help people, help, I would get help in return. And that's not true. What I found was that I became a helpful man. When I went out and was caring and cared on everybody and helped other humans through my care, I didn't get care in return. I became known as a caring man. When you are building a brand, every single thing you do is going to create a connection with other human beings. A good one or a bad one or a neutral one. But everything you do right now, if you're watching this, we're having a moment. Even if you're just listening to me and you're already doing emails and whatever, we're having a connection here. And whatever I say next, whatever I do right now is going to pile in to how you perceive me. The same is true with your brand as you lean into what you do in your local market. Does that make sense? It sure as hell does to me. And it's so obvious, but I keep missing it. Everyone starts to focus on the tagline, the logo, the social handle. You are your brand. Yeah, Dan, what's up, dude? Good to see you, buddy. As you continue to show up in the digital space, as you continue to show up in any relationship, you're building an emotional connection, and that is your brand. If you want to be a man of integrity, of honesty, or a woman of integrity and honesty, then you better show up in such a way that everything I witness doing builds that definition for me. That's it. And the other thing that really bothers me is everyone wants to be professional and good customer service. Of course, that doesn't differentiate you. It doesn't make you special. It makes you decent at your job. But when you start to show me your real human side, when you start to show me what you care about, what makes you tick, what makes you move, I start to get a human connection to you. I'll give you another gold nugget. It was dropped by Shondell on the podcast we did yesterday. If you missed it, shame on you. It's on YouTube and it's coming out Wednesday, tomorrow. It was an amazing nugget. One of the things she said that absolutely I resonate with 100% is that if you want to be known as somebody who is reliable, trustworthy, committed, then you got to show up every day. The only way to prove that is through consistency over time. There it is. And if that's one of your brand pillars, I want to be known as a reliable, consistent professional, and you got to show up every single day being a reliable, consistent professional. But I also don't want you to get over mixed on these big words. I put all these words up here because these are the first ones that pop up when I start talking to people about what do you want your brand to be? Who do you want to be known as? They're like kind, caring, reliable, integrity, honesty, professional, blah, blah, blah. What about being a good friend? Now, you could say that reliable makes you a good friend, and so does honesty and integrity and all that stuff. But if you put out content that shows you're being a good friend, people are going to get that ethos and experience. This, to me, it's that old saying, your actions speak so loud, I can no longer hear you talk. I don't care about your witty tagline. It doesn't mean anything to me. What I care about is how you show up every day on the internet and locally when we can hang out and hug and all that good stuff. Because that is how I'm going to define you and your brand. Do not start with this stuff on the screen. That stuff is a trick. It's a trick on the branding conversation. It's like you got to start leading personal branding, and I need a new website. And no, you don't. No one cares about your freaking website, dude. Like, no one cares. They don't. You're like, people spend hours and hours and thousands of dollars building out a beautiful personal branding website. I'm like, no one cares, dude. Why would you do that? Do that later. This stuff is not how you build brand. It's not all of a sudden, hey, I have a logo, I have a cool social handle, I've got my witty tagline, and now I'm branded. I'm a personal brand. No. Your personal brand is developed over time through action. It's how you show up. It's how you are experienced. And it's the emotional connection that happens to you and the people you're trying to serve. That's how you develop and build personal brand. It's a day-by-day process where you just continue. Carl's doing it right now. When you continue to show up and you declare to the world why you're showing up. Why does it matter to you that you're here in this place? And then you will start developing a brand, because the emotional connection other people have will define it for you. Now, yes, if you show up certain ways, people are going to have certain reactions to it. 100%. 100%. But they're not having a reaction to your stupid logo. I'm going to say it again. They're not having a reaction to your logo. They're having a reaction to you. And that, my friends, is how you build your personal brand. You cannot, don't fall into the trap. The trap is that you got to build this other stuff around it. No, the game is you just show up and you play. I have to repeat this quote that Shondell said yesterday on the podcast. I have to repeat this quote because it was so good. It's now burned into my mind and it's part of my mantra now. I've adopted it. It's now like, it's so right. Because if you're stuck, if you're feeling me now and you're like, okay, I got to put out content and that will build my brand. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me just be very clear. You put out content, it will build your brand over time. The type of content you put out will make an emotional connection and it will build your brand over time. And you will become known by something via the emotional connection other humans have to you. And then, yes, if you throw a logo there, it will start to mean something too, but it doesn't mean anything in the beginning. It's garbage. It's white noise. Don't get caught up in that. But if you're feeling me on this and you're like, okay, I'm going to start showing up. I got to do it. I'm going to do it because I believe in myself and I believe I have a purpose on this earth and I got to step into this game, but I don't know what to say. And I've teased this before because I've sat down with mortgage professionals and even in lives and said, I don't know what to say. And I go, okay, let's talk about first-time homebuyers. How much down payment do you need? What FICO score do you need? Can you get a gift? Do you do what's inspection? What's an appraisal? What's going to happen in the loan process? Blah, 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 blah. And you come up with like 75,000 pieces of content. But even then, Shondell went one step deeper. And this is from her brain to yours. You're welcome. It's a gift. She mentioned being part of Facebook groups as a start to this. And I was like, okay, that's a relevant conversation. A relevant topic. There's a million Facebook groups. There's some in your city right now that you should be a part of. Why? Because there's thousands of people in there that you don't have to be friends with. And now you could be in a conversation with. You could be connected to. It's like, oh, crap, that's pretty cool. Like real estate investing as a group. Pretty good. Probably pretty good to be a loan officer and be in that group. But she said, if you're struggling with what content to put out, you're not in the right conversations. And I was like, go on. And she started to elaborate, like she using this concept of a Facebook group. Inside this Facebook group, guess what? People are asking questions all the time. All the time. They're saying things like, hey, I found this new house and I want to buy it and rent mine. and I want to try to refinance so I can use my VA benefit. Does anybody know what to do? I'm confused. And so her comment is so dead on. If you're struggling with what to put out to meet your personal brand, to answer questions, then you're not in the right conversations. Because if you are in those conversations, you'll know exactly what content to put out, because people will be asking those questions over and over again. Here's another, if you're Reddit, if you're a Reddit nerd like me, or I every now and then I go down, like, it's the dark web, but it's fun. Whatever, I like memes, just don't judge me. But you can go to Reddit and you can go to subreddits like mortgage info or real estate info. And oh my gosh, there's so many questions being asked there. All of a sudden now you have the answers. You know what content to post. Go into these big Facebook groups, listen and watch the questions being asked. Now you know what answers to post. Guys, this is a game. It's all a game. It's all a game, but I'll tell you how you win the game. You win the game by serving others and being in relationship with them and building up enough of a reputation or a brand with them that as they have mortgage needs and questions, you're the person they think of. That's how you win the game. And you can do it at scale. You can do it for free. All this stuff right now is at your fingertips. And all you have to do is have the courage to step into the light and share about what you're doing and why you're doing it. That's it. And listen, and you'll find the right questions and you can answer them and you will kill it. But please, my friends, do not start the personal brand journey. If that's you and you're like, I got to get into the personal brand game, do not start with this stuff. It's a distraction. It's white noise. You get to start on your personal brand journey by putting out content, videos, pictures, articles, tweets. All the stuff you put out will start creating a human connection. And it will start building your brand from the ground up, day by day, every day. Brands are not built overnight. They're built video by video by video by video over time. If these things give you joy, just have some fun with it. I just don't want people to get distracted. That's my main point. If you love the fancy home financier, clever social handle, great. Love it. Do it. But please don't get distracted by what really creates brand. You could have the stupidest logo of all time, but if you show up and you kick ass every single day and you build gigantic human connection and emotional connection online through all the content you do, through all the engagement you do, they're going to see that crappy logo and they're going to be like, yeah, that's I like that person. But it's not the logo that mattered. It's the experience they had with you. All right. Kick some ass today, guys. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Join me Thursday. We're going to have the Chief Technology Officer of Loan Depot, Sadir, on to talk about tech in mortgage and what's going to happen to change our lives in amazing ways. Hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. By the way, if you're watching this in the future, hit me up with a hashtag bypassed. I love seeing those come through on my comments, on my notifications, because I'm like, yeah, someone's watching this. Brings me joy. Hashtag bypassed. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Talk to you later. Thanks, Justin. See you guys.